Welcome to Animal DNA, our extraordinary expedition through the animal kingdom. We'll explore the unique traits and characteristics of animals of all kinds, how species relate to one another, and ways in which they survive and thrive in their diverse environments around the planet. And so our journey begins. Today, we'll take to the open skies with birds of prey, those high-flying predators such as hawks, vultures, and the mighty eagle. Diurnal birds of prey are a large group of birds that hunt in the daytime. They belong to the order Falconiformes, which is comprised of more than 309 species. They differ from the nocturnal raptors, like owls, of the Strigiformes group, mainly because of their flight style, which for nocturnal hunters is silent due to the shape of their bodies. Diurnal raptors are a diverse group and are not closely related to each other. However, despite this, these animals share specific characteristics that distinguish them from other birds. They possess plumage that allows them to camouflage exceptionally well in their environments. Diurnal raptors also have solid, razor-sharp claws to catch prey, grip, and tear flesh. In some cases, the legs may be feathered to protect the bird if it lives in cold climates. They have a sharp, curved beak, the size of which varies according to the species and the type of prey the bird hunts. Their sense of sight is superhuman, literally, in that they can see about 10 times better than humans. Some birds of prey, such as vultures, have a highly developed sense of smell that allows them to detect dead and decomposing animals, called carrion, aka their next meal, from several miles away. Both diurnal and nocturnal raptors share some common characteristics, such as the presence of claws and a beak. They can also share the same territory, as they operate at different times of day. However, they also have distinct features that can easily differentiate them. Nocturnal raptors have a more rounded head, which allows them to better capture sounds. The placement of their ears, located on both sides of the head but at different heights, also allows them to detect sounds all around them. Though they rely heavily on their hearing to hunt at night, they are still able to see in the darkness. Diurnal birds have an excellent sense of sight as well, but need light to see. Nocturnal birds' feathers differ from those of diurnal birds because they have a velvety appearance, which diminishes the sound they emit during flight. Let's get to know some of these raptors a little better, starting with vultures. Vultures are divided into two subgroups, vultures themselves and condors. The condor is recognized as one of the largest birds in the world. Condors have wingspans that can stretch nearly 10 feet, and they can weigh over 30 pounds, a true heavyweight in the bird world. Vultures, while not quite as large as condors, are also big birds, usually standing about 2 feet high, with a wingspan of around 5 feet from wingtip to wingtip. Vultures have a unique look, with black plumage and beaks and wrinkled neck skin. They are also known to fly in flocks at some distance from the ground, as they hunt for carcasses on which to feast. These birds can be found in natural fields, forest edges, and rural and urban areas. They nest in the hollows of dead trees, among rocks and other sheltered places. The female lays 2 eggs, whitish in color, spotted with brown dots. Vultures can be looked down upon by some, as they have a reputation as garbage feeders, scavengers, eating carrion, which, as we mentioned earlier, means animals which are already dead, but they are essential in the animal kingdom. Nature needs creatures like vultures to clean up animal carcasses before they become reservoirs of bacteria and flies. This is why vultures are often found in regions with a high predator count. An increase in flies increases the possibility of disease transmission between animals or even humans. And depending on the migration of these flies and other insects, urban areas can become contaminated. Thus, vultures can be considered creatures that prevent the spread of diseases by cleaning the remains of decay in their environments. We'll be right back with more Animal DNA. We're back with more animal DNA. Let's see if you can answer this trivia question. How many species of vultures exist in the world? A, about 20. B, more than 100. C, more than 1,000. D, 1. If you answered A, about 20, you got it right. Now, it's time to train our eye on another sharp-sighted bird of prey, the eagle. The name eagle groups several species with similar anatomical and ecological characteristics, and has continuously attracted human attention for their majesty. There's a reason why the bald eagle is the symbol for America. These diurnal raptors are hunters, not scavengers like vultures. They feed on fresh meat, mostly fish, which they catch. However, some species complement their diet with food they steal from other animals or birds. They're opportunistic predators, meaning they will eat what they can catch. They are distributed throughout the world, with the exception of Antarctica. They belong to the order Accipitriformes, which includes a great diversity of genera and species, characterized by hooked beaks, strong claws they use to hunt and capture their prey, and a highly developed sense of sight. Hence the term eagle eye for a sharp-sighted person. There are about 60 species of eagles worldwide, many of which are endangered. Let's highlight some of the best-known and most representative species, starting with the majestic bald eagle. These impressive birds are native to North America, with a range between southern Canada to northern Mexico. Bald eagles can live in a variety of environments: forests, swamps, rivers, mountainous areas, and deserts, to name a few. They can weigh more than 15 pounds, and their wingspan can reach almost 6.5 feet. Full-grown eagles have white heads and brown bodies. Thanks to its appearance on American money and other government-issued things from stamps to buildings, the bald eagle is one of the most widely recognized birds in the world. The Spanish imperial eagle is endemic to the Iberian Peninsula, mainly in Portugal and Spain. These birds can live in coastal or mountainous environments. Their size varies between 2 to 2.5 feet tall, and their wingspan can reach about 6.5 feet. These brownish-colored birds have soared around the Earth for a long time, but they are currently a vulnerable category on the endangered scale. Golden eagles can be found throughout North America, Europe, Asia, and Africa. They can live in forests or mountainous areas, though they are mainly found in mountainous regions near cliffs, where they build their nests. They'll eat what they can catch, which means anything from small mammals to other birds, and sometimes meals stolen from other animals. Their plumage varies with shades of brown, and they have a golden-colored head, like their name implies. Bonelli's eagles can be found living from the Mediterranean basin to Southeast Asia, where they inhabit mountainous areas. On average, they stand at around 2 feet tall, with a wingspan of about 3 feet. Their plumage is brownish, with characteristic brown stripes on the chest. Harpy eagles are a neotropical species that inhabit jungles and tropical forests with tall, well-preserved trees. These birds can be found living from Central America to northern Argentina. They're considered one of the largest and most powerful eagles, as they stand more than 3 feet tall and have a wingspan of more than 7 feet. Their plumage is grayish-white, and they have rows of feathers in the shape of a crest. Their claws alone are more than 6 inches long, and their beaks are equally imposing and powerful. Harpy eagles are classified as near threatened, mainly due to habitat destruction. Steller's sea eagles, also known as Pacific sea eagles, are distributed throughout Northwest Asia. Along with the harpy eagle, they are considered one of the largest and most powerful eagles. They, too, can stand more than 3 feet tall and can possess a wingspan of about 8 feet. Undoubtedly, their most distinctive feature is their enormous and strong yellow beak, which they use to help them fish for their dinner. Their plumage is dark brown with white details on the forehead, wings, and thighs. They are a vulnerable species due to overfishing, which limits their food source and creates water pollution. Crowned eagles are native to sub-Saharan Africa, where they live in dense forests. This species is considered small when compared to other eagles, but it is the strongest in its habitat, reaching more than 2 feet tall with a wingspan of 6 feet. Their plumage is dark reddish with cream-colored spots. Their wings stand out for their shape, which is rounded and short. This is typical of species that need to hunt inside forests and jungles. The short, round shape makes maneuvering around trees and other obstacles easier, particularly at high speeds. Crowned eagles are considered vital to their habitat, as they control mammal populations which, if left unchecked, can harm crops and other agricultural practices. And finally, white-tailed eagles are distributed along the coasts of northern Europe and Asia. They occupy the same ecological niche as the Steller's sea eagle, but in different regions. They stand at about 3 feet tall and possess a wingspan of almost 8 feet long. They have a brown coloration with lighter tones on the head, which features a large, strong beak. We'll be right back with more animal DNA. We're back with more animal DNA. Let's see if you can answer this trivia question. Which of the following are also considered birds of prey? A. Pelicans. B. Owls. C. Crows. D. Parrots. If you answered B. Owls, you're right. Now, let's take a look at another famous bird of prey, the hawk. Hawks, or falcons, belong to the Falconidae family of the order Falconiformes, which is composed of more than 60 species. These medium-sized birds of prey are found worldwide, although they tend to prefer more temperate northern hemisphere regions. Hawks have short, curved beaks, sharp talons, and they are impressive in flight, graceful, and able to reach high speeds to capture prey. They are ornithophagous, meaning they are birds that feed on other birds, even other hawks, along with various other animals. Falcons hunt their prey from above, be it mice, frogs, fish, or other birds. They spot and zone in on them with their remarkable vision and swoop in for the catch. Their vision is incredibly sharp, which allows them to identify prey on the ground far below. Along with pinpoint accurate eyesight, they also possess acute hearing. Hawks adapt in many ways to maximize their chance of survival in the skies. Their aerodynamic body shape allows them to glide through the air more efficiently. Narrow, pointed wings enable them to change direction quickly, unlike other birds. Thus, they can engage in high-speed chases and swoops. Let's take a look at individual hawk species. Starting with one so fast, if you're not paying close attention, you might miss it. The peregrine falcon. Peregrine falcons are the most common bird of prey in the world and can be found on all continents except Antarctica. They possess bluish-gray plumage on the back and wings, a black head, and a yellow beak and legs. They measure 15 to 20 inches tall, with a wingspan 3 to 4 feet long, and weigh between 1 to 5 pounds. And did we mention they're fast? They can swoop and dive at astonishing speeds, up to 240 miles per hour. The rare species that inhabit forested regions have slightly shorter and broader wings, which facilitates flight through dense vegetation. Their tails are considered short for species that live in open environments, but this too aids in flight speed. The pygmy falcon is also native to Africa and is the smallest bird of prey on the continent. Finally, gerfalcons. The largest falcons have, for centuries, been prized hunting birds and in the art of falconry. The gerfalcon is the official bird of Canada's Northwest Territories and can be found around Earth's icy poles in the Arctic regions of Eurasia and North America. Although hawks are generally known to stay in one place, many species are actually migratory and can travel more than 15,000 miles a year. The life expectancy of hawks is 15 years on average if they live their entire lives in their natural habitat. If falcons are cared for and kept in captivity, they can reach 20 years of age. Let's move on to sparrowhawks. Their scientific name is Accipiter nissus, and their family members include kites, hawks, and eagles. Sparrowhawks are small birds of prey. They're adapted for hunting birds in confined spaces, like dense woodland, so gardens are ideal hunting grounds for them. These shy, solitary birds live in large areas of woodland or tracts of open countryside. Adult male sparrowhawks have bluish-gray backs and wings and orangey-brown bars on their chest and belly. Females and young birds have brown backs and wings and brown bars on their undersides. Sparrowhawks have bright yellow or orangey eyes, long, yellow legs, and long talons. Females are larger than males, as is true with all birds of prey. Sparrowhawks catch and feed on small birds, among other prey. Males can catch birds up to thrush size, but females, being bigger, can catch birds up to pigeon size. Some sparrowhawks may also hunt bats. Many birds of prey species have become threatened, vulnerable, or endangered due to poaching, habitat loss, pollution, and climate change. Birds of prey are in decline worldwide. It's up to us to protect these beautiful, impressive creatures. And with that, our journey has come to an end. See you next time on Animal DNA, where we humans decode all the secrets of our friends in the animal kingdom to learn more about them and a little bit more about ourselves, too.